Welcome back to the Unappreciated Man podcast, where we give voice to the struggles and triumphs of men who deserve more. Today, we have a very special guest who's here to share his story of feeling unappreciated and constantly putting the needs of others before his own.
Where do I even begin? This rant has been building up inside me for years as the resentment slowly simmers. I mean, is it really too much to ask to have my basic needs met without always feeling like an afterthought? To not feel taken for granted day after damn day? I bend over backwards to provide for this family, work my fingers to the bone at a job that sucks the soul out of me, and for what? Just to keep the wheels spinning, while everyone else gets to pursue their dreams and live purpose-driven lives. I feel like nothing more than a workhorse. My needs? Those are consistently dismissed and labeled as selfish if I even dare bring them up. But I thought relationships were supposed to be reciprocal. That each person's feelings and aspirations deserved equal consideration and compromise. I make every effort to see her side of things, support her in following her bliss, take the kids' wishes into account. But at the end of the day, what about me? My inner light feels like it's slowly dying. I used to have such vibrant hopes and talents too, until the crushing responsibility of bills and providing stability slowly chipped away at my spirit. When was the last time she really asked me what I want? Or seemed curious about my dreams at all? Oh right, never. As long as the lawns are mowed, gutters are cleaned, and bills paid, my purpose has been served right. Well, what about my soul? Doesn't the man who works his ass off to give his family security and opportunities deserve to pursue his own meaning too? She gets to follow her creative passions, so why am I made to feel greedy for wanting the same in return? A little work-life balance sure would be nice instead of this endless hamster wheel existence. I'm starting to grow so resentful each time she excitedly shares a new self-discovery class or passion project she wants to explore next, knowing I could never justify taking that same time and money for myself. My needs will just have to keep collecting dust, I guess, while I continually put them on the back burner. When is it going to start being my turn? I deserve to feel fulfilled too. I want to enjoy time with my kids before they grow up, rather than slaving away to buy them stuff in lieu of presents. I shouldn't have to keep waiting until some magical retirement to finally start living for me. What do I have to do around here for my lifelong sacrifices to be appreciated? Is a little understanding and compromise too much for a man to ask? Maybe I should book a solo trip somewhere and make space for my own needs instead of eternally caging my soul for the sake of everyone else. A little wake-up call that I matter too. Some days I truly do feel completely taken for granted and strung out. There's only so long you can gorge yourself on giving before you start resenting the lack of crumbs being sent your way. I really don't think I ask for much in return, so why does it always feel like my needs come last? I may not make a big fuss, but that doesn't mean my dreams and well-being don't freaking matter. Maybe it's time I stop making excuses for the lack of reciprocity and take action. I can't keep waiting around for someone else to finally make me a damn priority too in my own life. Even loyal old workhorses have their limits before bucking the system. Consider this my official bucking cry that enough is enough, steps off soapbox with heavy sigh. Here we go again. Another day, another round of being the invisible man. My needs? Always on the back burner, simmering away until they evaporate into oblivion. I'm the rock, the provider, the fix-it man. Everyone leans on me, expects me to be there, solve their problems, pick them up when they fall. But who picks me up? Who sees the cracks in my foundation, the weight I carry on my shoulders? Don't get me wrong, I love my family, my friends. I do anything for them. But sometimes it feels like I'm a bottomless well of resources, constantly being tapped into without anyone ever stopping to fill it back up. I'm tired of being taken for granted, tired of my sacrifices being ignored, my feelings minimized, my needs dismissed as unimportant. I'm not a robot. I'm a human being with emotions, dreams, and desires. Why does it have to be a one-way street? Why can't I get the same support and care I give so freely? Is it too much to ask for someone to see the man behind the mask, the man who longs for connection, for validation, for someone to simply ask, "Hey, how are you doing?" It's not that I expect grand gestures or constant attention, but a little recognition, a simple thank you, a genuine conversation that goes beyond surface-level pleasantries would make a world of difference. I'm not asking to be treated like a king, but I deserve to be seen, to be heard, to be valued for who I am. I deserve to have my needs acknowledged and met, just like everyone else. I refuse to be the silent martyr anymore. I will not be the invisible man, the one whose needs are always an afterthought. I will break free from this cycle of self-sacrifice and start prioritizing myself. I will learn to communicate my needs effectively, to set boundaries, and to demand respect. I will not allow myself to be drained dry, used and discarded like a used-up battery. This is my declaration of independence. I am reclaiming my voice, my individuality, and my right to be seen and heard. I am an unappreciated man no more. I am. MINW choke deserves MOR. Oh, you thought I was done ranting? Ha! I'm just getting warmed up. There's years of suppressed frustration waiting to boil over about my needs never being important enough. I mean, seriously, how does she not see how burnt out I am? Or does she just not care as long as I keep providing? It's like she wants all the perks that come with having a husband but puts none of the actual work into making me feel valued and appreciated. A relationship can't survive on autopilot indefinitely. The gas eventually runs out when the tank stays on E. I keep waiting and hoping she'll notice and help fill me back up. But it's just been excuse after excuse for why my dreams aren't convenient right now. Funny how hers never seem to be pushed aside so easily though. I shouldn't have to bust my ass to extremes for even basic signs of care in return. Buying me some trinket I didn't ask for instead of really seeing and nurturing me just adds insult to injury. It makes me feel like I'm just a cliché man she expects to stay trapped in workhorse mode. Just take care of it all while I do me. Well, what if I want to do me too sometimes? Why does that make me selfish? Don't I deserve to enjoy the fruits of my labor too at some point? To feel like my purpose extends beyond being a burden bearer and nothing more. The longer this all goes on, the more my eye starts to wander, I have to admit. Wondering what it must feel like to have someone reciprocate effort and actually care about my dreams too. Ask how my day was just because, not because they want something from me. Some days those thoughts feel like the only flicker keeping my spirit alive. I never signed up to be a martyr. I became a husband because I wanted a true partner by my side. It cuts so deep feeling like an afterthought. Like 20 years means nothing if she can't be bothered to nurture my soul too. I don't think that's asking too much, so why does it feel like I'm begging for table scraps here? Oh, you want me to keep ranting? No problem. I've got enough pent-up frustration to filibuster for days on feeling like my most basic needs don't matter. I mean, am I speaking a different language here? I've told her flat out so many times how exhausted and starved I feel. How there's this gaping void inside that keeps expanding. That all my giving and doing isn't sustainable without some actual care and effort reciprocated too. Yet it goes in one ear and out the other. Or somehow gets twisted that I'm attacking her for daring to have independent dreams. That's not it at all. This isn't a competition. I fully support her in pursuing what sets her soul on fire. I just don't think it's remotely unfair for me to want that too without being made to feel guilty. It makes me feel so defective admitting I have emotional needs too. Like I must not be a real man if doing things solely for others doesn't complete me. God forbid I express feeling worn thin by carrying our worlds while she gets to focus just on herself. Even my attempts now to take mini breaks or recharge get criticized. Like, why are you so moody lately? Maybe because I'm freaking exhausted, woman. I've been sprinting this whole relationship just to keep even a few steps ahead of crushing debt. Am I not even allowed time to catch my damn breath without judgment? Give and give till you bleed dry, they say. Well, no one bothered to patch me up or even offer a band-aid after. No one ever asks if I'm actually happy with this endless hamster wheel existence. They just expect the running to continue regardless, dutifully powering our lives. Well, this hamster is done running fruitlessly with no reciprocity or appreciation. Something has to fundamentally change here, or I will break. And a man who's given everything with nothing to show for it deserves better. Even if I have to prove that all by myself, by walking away, rather than keep settling. At least freedom tastes sweeter than stale crumbs.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Unappreciated Man podcast. We'll be back next week with another story of resilience and strength. Remember, men, you are not alone. Your voice matters. Your needs matter. Don't be afraid to speak up and claim your place in the world. To have your rant featured on the Unappreciated Man podcast, send an 8 to 10 minute audio to unappreciatedmanpodcast@gmail.com. You deserve more and to be heard. This is the Unappreciated Man podcast where you are appreciated.